Hi, it's Nikki from Two Tribes Primal Living.
And it's me, Albert.
And Kaya, the anxious dog.
So we were talking last night, and we had a thought cross my mind about couples, either married couples or spouses, and the question arose: what do you do if your spouse or your partner in life isn't into prepping, isn't into homesteading, isn't into off-grid living, or something that would require a drastic change in life? Kind of like what's going on in the planet today. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty as far as economy goes, social statuses of lower class, middle class, people losing their jobs. So it's almost to me it's a controlled collapse that is what is occurring in the United States. So a lot of people are going to have to get to the point where they're going to have to make some decisions about either preparing for their future or preparing for their present now, and that's going to include sacrificing, and if this or taking a different approach to life. And if the spouse or the partner isn't in tune with that, how do you handle that? What the hell? Well, I mean, what did you
Okay, so
learn about all that?
Let's just take really quickly a look at marriages, because let's just focus on marriages or partnerships that are common law marriage or whatever. Conflict in a relationship, whether it is a marriage, whether it is common law, whether it is just boyfriend and girlfriend, or whether you're seeking a partner, you have to look at, they say that almost 3/4 of all marriages have inside their relationship what is called perpetual conflict, meaning they argue and bicker and bitch and fight and complain and nag or whatever every single day. It's perpetual. What's the definition of perpetual? So when you have that kind of relational instability, because look at the divorce rate as it stands. What is it? Something like 75%. So it's right up there with perpetual. It's right there with perpetual conflict. So when you take something like a major disagreement, and I'm going to say a few. I don't want kids, but I want 5 kids. I want to live in a little farmhouse, but I want to live in a big mansion. Ooh, I don't like heat. Ooh, I don't like cold. Those are conflicts that people have. So you put in there prepping. I'm going to be prepping for our family. What does that even mean? And so it's like two people speaking different languages. So I think the 3 rules of what not to do is you don't ever lie to your spouse. You don't ever say, I'm spending this money on something else and prep. That is a no-no. That you can't do that, because if you're going to do something like that, you may as well leave the person, because you're not maintaining the integrity of the marriage, regardless of what you're doing to keep yourself and your family safe. Number 2, you don't want to come across as a psycho. So, we're all going to die and you're not listening and we need to get this shit done. And okay, that's a no-no. You don't want to be a psycho. And
I think I'm more of a psycho.
Number 3, well, I'm on your side.
Yeah.
Number 3 is you don't want to just randomly spend the family's money without talking about it. So, with Albert and me as a couple, we agree. We both agree. I'm more of a not so much ride his coattails kind of wife, but I trust my husband's judgment, because he's not a freak. He's not erratic. He's not crazy. He doesn't have all these wild, exotic ideas that fall through. He's stable. When it comes to shit that's real and truth, He's stable, and he's been right. Just like he trusts me on people and emotions, I trust him on our life. So you have to be able to trust your partner, your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. Trust is so important. So what if I didn't trust you when you came to me 2 years ago and said or a year and a half ago or whenever, and we got to start getting this done? How would you have responded? Would you have said, fuck you, I'm out, I'm leaving you? If I had said, ooh, that doesn't seem so right, that's a little...
Well, what I would have had to have done is convince you.
Exactly.
First of all, I would have to bring forth valid information that says, look, check this out. Just give me a second and check this out and look at what's going on right now. Look at what is being flown under the radar while everybody is paying attention to all these distractions over here. Just give me a few minutes to show you why we need to start
maybe some
preparing.
relevant stuff like,
yeah.
Hey, you know, what if we both lost our job? What if we couldn't have an income? What would we do? Or what if the power grid went off? You know, you did show me documentaries and movies.
Yeah, and that's how I kind of got her involved in it. We spent time not doing research together, but the research that I had done, I would present to her and go, look, this doesn't look right. Something's not adding up here. Something doesn't
and I'm like,
seem...
oh,
so,
you're right.
You know, when we got into the idea of beginning to prep, and then we started getting into the idea of protecting ourselves financially, with you know, buying gold and silver is and I'm not going to use the word buying gold and silver, because you're not actually buying gold and silver. And this is one of the things that a lot of people will probably have confusion about is
you're just transferring your funds into an investment.
You're just taking that money and putting it
from a disagreement standpoint, though. From a disagreement standpoint, that's a major removing from the bank and putting into something else. So you would have to convince that you're not, and you would have to show...
Well, when I think about it, how do you convince a spouse that you need all this crap from Amazon, and that all this crap showed up from Amazon?
We need a Siri. We need a overhead.
And how does that go over? And we're not talking about entertainment. We're not talking about things that are frivolous. We're talking about convincing your spouse that we need to unite and save our fucking asses. We need to save our asses, because nobody is coming to save your ass in a shit hit the fan situation.
What is it what preppers call it? The end of the world as we know it. They have a little acronym it means the end of the world as we know it, which is a song, which we all know that, you know, REM. But you know, that's like worst case scenario. So how do you get the energy of your spouse on board with the end of the world as we know it kind of scenario, whether that is an asteroid or a caldera eruption or a total financial collapse or a massive pandemic that actually causes death? Or, you know... Or
a pandemic that causes job losses and businesses that shut down.
Collapse.
And financial collapse.
Yeah, I mean, how do you get your spouse on board with that? Well, you have to start slow with things that they can understand. You can't go into dude, it's the end of the world, and you're not on board, and you start talking about bug out bags, and you start talking about bug out locations, and you start talking about bug in locations and bug in supplies, and each of the kids has to have a bug out backpack, and the dog has to have a bug out backpack, and it's like, you're gonna fuck someone up if you start with that shit and they're not on board. So you have to do it with relative, you know, okay, we got stuff going down, you could lose your job, I could lose my job, we could lose all this. What are we gonna do? How are we going to get electricity if we can't get electricity? How are we going to get food if we can't get food? What are we going to do? Boy, that's real. That's real time. You lose your job. Some of my friends who own businesses, you know, honey, what if this business closes and we don't have any income? What are we going to eat?
How are you going to pay bills?
How are you going to pay the bills?
What are you going to do? I mean, there has to be some, with the point we're at in this world right now, there has to be some point of preparation. And if you've got a spouse that is completely completely opposed to preparing.
Yeah.
And they're glued to the TV, and the TV is telling you everything is going to be okay. You know, break the TV. I would bust the TV to a billion pieces. To
Not
start
violent
off,
or angry at all.
You know, but you've got to get that mindset of mentality.
If they
of
don't
the herd
agree
mentality.
with you, I said this to him last night. If they don't agree with you, Kaya, then they are going to be responsible for the death of your children.
Literally, quite I mean, the death,
literally,
or the suffering of your family.
The probability of that is very high. The suffering of your family. If they have an Amazon addiction and you're trying to prep, and you've told them, so communication is super important. Like I said, you don't lie. Whether you're an authoritative spouse, which I don't believe in authoritative spouse, but they're out there. We're gonna do this shit. If you don't like it, too bad. You know, I don't even know how you made it that far. But if you're in that kind of situation, you know, that individual will be prepping. They will be preparing. They will be gathering, buying, making lists, or whatever it is they do. And if that other person is not on board with that, you know, that can create major conflict, which can create a lack of unity. I have his back out here. He's got my back. And I had his back in where we used to live, and he's got my back. So if we don't have each other's back, then I'm creating conflict, which puts us at risk. Risk for death, risk for burglary, risk for, I mean, anything could happen.
See, you know, and she's got the woman's perspective, and I understand that and all, and maybe it's just because I have somebody that is willing to trust me and to trust me as the leader of the household of the family. But my opinion in all this, you should have known this stuff way before you got into the relationship. I mean, this is as important as asking what religion are you, or are you a drug user, or are you an addict, or I mean, these are.
You get married and you find out that they're an alcoholic and they're a porn addict.
Yeah, these are life.
You should already know that.
These questions are if our lives were in danger, or our lives were in the need of going down a different path than the luxurious, glamorous, in-debt life that we've created, and we needed to go to live in a frugal life and living, you know, with less than what we have today. You know, you need to know that about your spouse. You need to, if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend and y'all been dating a few years,
y'all need to get that shit out there now.
You know, put it out there, because, you know, when money problems hit, and that's going to be one of the main reasons for divorce or conflict is money.
Yeah, money.
So when money is going, because you
Money's
know,
going
my
right now.
opinion right now is if I'm prepping, I'm probably prepping to save your life, because I know something that you don't know, especially if it's in a spouse or partner relationship. I'm prepping not because I need more food or it's trendy, or because it's a big step. It's a big commitment to start buying excessive foods, or not. And I don't mean excessive.
I mean excessive, but when you go to the grocery store,
it depends on how long you're prepping for. If you're prepping for 3 months,
but I mean,
it doesn't take a whole lot of food.
It doesn't.
But if you're prepping for 3 years,
but when you go to the grocery store, I'm going to tell you right now, not one prepper I've come in contact with, not one prepper I've talked to, there are some that have been prepping for 10, 12 years. So they're way ahead of the game. But whenever nobody goes to the grocery store is like, ooh, I need to prepare for the next 3 years. Let me just buy up the shelves. You'd have like 28 cards.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen that way. You start out by preparing, you know what is an inexpensive, calorie-dense food that I could purchase? Pasta and rice. Those are calorie. Yes, they require boiling, but you don't know what your water conditions are going to be like. So you start doing things like that. You add, okay, this case of cans is going to go in the back, and this is our regular stock. This pasta is going to go in the back. This is our regular stock. You know, that shouldn't be too hard for a spouse or a boyfriend or a girlfriend to even get on board with. You know, why are you crazy? Why are you putting cans back there? That's a red flag. If they call you crazy for what you're doing, you know, they're not crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I have a whole different perspective on it than the woman. I mean, as a man, and I'm going to give my male perspective is
He would divorce you. He would divorce me.
well,
He's already told me that.
It would be a tough decision because either I'm going to live and survive and continue on after this new normal sets in, or I'm going to suffer through it with somebody who is mentally incapable of handling change or handling disconnecting from the material world.
Yeah.
The material world is why most people are so afraid.
They're
of,
attached.
They're
attached.
of what the future holds. They don't want to lose their stuff.
No.
They don't want to lose their hair appointments and their nail appointments.
Listen to his video on attachment.
And yeah, and their fajitas and ritas with the girls on Friday and Taco Tuesday and all this nonsense that means nothing. It's just this. And this is my perspective. She has a whole different perspective on it, but we are in alignment with what goes on. Most of society right now is asleep. They're sleepwalking. They have no clue what's coming at them right now. And this isn't something that I can say, oh, we got 3 years to prepare, we got 4 years to prepare, we got 6 months to prepare. That window is getting closing smaller and smaller and smaller every day.
Just look at the price of silver today.
Yeah, look at the price of silver and gold and how it's decoupling from the US dollar. Silver prices aren't going up. Gold prices are not going up.
The dollar's value is going
the value
down.
of the dollar is going down. Silver and gold have their same value that they had before the US dollar was put in place.
But relative to the value of the dollar is going down.
So in prepping, in understanding prepping, I see people, and I made a comment today about people wanting to prepare for Halloween. I'm like, what the fuck is the matter with you? You're preparing for Halloween? That's like, how can you be that asleep? Actually, those people I can't even have a conversation with. I can't even talk to people like that. When we're getting ready for Thanksgiving and Halloween, I'm like,
we're going on our cruise.
You have no clue the negative impact that you're going to have on your family because you're still asleep.
Right.
But my whole perspective on it is you should have known this when you got with your spouse. If your spouse is somebody who is all about the nails or all about the beard oil and
smelling good, gotta smell good.
And the cologne and they wear skinny jeans, they're not going to make it. They are going to have a hell of a time adjusting to the new normal, because the new normal is not going to be something that is going to be welcoming and, hey, we're glad to have you here, and hey, by the way, here's some more free money, and here we put this food aside for you.
Yeah.
This food has been put aside for you in case you didn't prepare. No, it's not going to be like that.
No.
So those of you who are struggling with your spouses right now on that, I know it's a sensitive topic. It is a very sensitive topic.
It's a difficult conversation that needs to be had.
Because you can't just shake somebody and go, we need to buy food, we need to buy ammo, we need to buy this stuff.
Wake the fuck up.
You know, you need to wake up. Fuck the fake
friends. But I need my pencil skirt and my pumps, and my hair has to be frosted, and my boob job enhancement, the appointment is for next week. No.
So the worst thing that can happen at this point right now, let's just hypothetically use this as an example. We bought up all these preparations. We bought all this protection and these means to preserve our wealth, and nothing happens. Just imagine the scenario. Nothing happened. Everything goes back to the way it was before. Well, I don't have to buy shit for a long time. I don't have to worry about my wealth preservation. I don't have to worry about running out of food. I'm just going to have a little bit of extra food. And so...
And maybe I'll be better prepared if there is anything in future.
Yeah, so if you live where there's earthquakes or hurricanes or forest fires or snowstorms or
yeah, didn't Harvey teach
monsoons
anybody anything?
Or any of that stuff that occurs, I mean, there's always natural disasters to contend with or economic issues to contend with. So my outlook on it is kind of, and I'm going to shut up and let her give her woman perspective after this, is I can afford to be wrong at this point. And if I had a spouse that frowned upon me because I bought up all this stuff and I converted our cash into actual gold and silver, actual money, and nothing happened, then I can just undo it. It's something that can be undone, or we don't have to go shopping for a while. Let's bring the apocalypse food out and have a hell of a party because we got a lot of food. But you know, I don't see that occurring. I don't see that happening. There are so many experts on this planet that don't see that happening. This controlled collapse is going to be pretty harsh. And if you can't get your spouse on board, it's going to be a struggle. It is going to be a real struggle. Kids are resilient.
They are.
You know, you can pull them out of school and they'll adjust within a couple of months. They may have their little I miss my friends and stuff, but they will adjust because they're young and they will accept a new life. It's the adults, the adults,
the resistance from the
that
adults.
are attached to material and traditions and holidays and celebrations and all that stuff. That's that mental toughness that has to develop, and you don't just get that. I mean, there's a lot of people who are just going to suffer. I don't know how to put it any clearer than that. There's just going to be some people who are going to die, and they're going to suffer, and not because I want them to, but because they never adjusted.
No.
They couldn't adapt, and
Adaptation.
what was that? You know, there's that whole saying that how does it go? Survival is not guaranteed to the fastest and the fittest. It's guaranteed to those who are willing to adapt the fastest. And that's my outlook on it. I'll let her talk a little bit about
So I mean,
being nice about it.
I'm not necessarily being nice, and I'm not a rainbows and butterflies kind of chick. So those of you who know me know that I will fuck you up kind of chick. So I'm not going to fluff your feathers and make you feel good when I think that you're ridiculous. But in a marital situation, he is not wrong. If you have someone who's running around with Coach purses and all this crap, and the guy's got on bling bling and all this crap, and they don't know, they're scared of spiders. What man is scared of spiders? It's not a man, I'm just saying. But if you've got that kind of person, you knew that when you married them. You know that. Unless they had some secret second life and they were some kind of sexual deviant or some kind of weirdo, then you know what you married. So don't be fucking surprised. And you know, I'm passionate about this because this is my survival. I have to trust my husband for my survival, not for his survival. And this is a selfish man, and I'm going to say that on camera.
Yeah.
He is a very, very selfish man. He doesn't like to share. He likes to call things his. He doesn't like, I mean, we've been married. He doesn't like to say ours. But he's learned to come back and go when he says my gold and silver or my this, and he's like, well, ours.
My keys. Where's my keys?
Where's my keys?
Okay, where's our keys?
Where's our keys? I mean, our vehicles. We are married. Things are ours. I don't have to borrow money from my husband. Hey, can I borrow $20 to pay somebody this? It's our money. If I want $20, I go, hey, I need $20. What do you need $20 for? Give me fucking $20. Why do I have to beg for $20? I'm not a crack addict. Give me $20.
I'm not selfish.
He's not selfish like that. But you know, he's been raised. I don't know if it's previous relationships or just how he was brought up, but he's very, very selfish in his verbiage. But I have to trust him implicitly with our stuff. He can't hurt me out here and go, well, just go back home to your mom then, and I'm going to keep everything. No, we're together. We're a couple, and you know that as a wife. I knew when I married him that he had an alcohol problem, but I had hope for him, and you know that marriage actually helped because he realized, oh, I've got a wife who actually cares about me, so he gave up drinking.
Yeah, buy alcohol. It didn't take out some long drawn out process, but we're not talking about
that. No, but that's part of this whole trust. And so as spouses, you have to trust one another. So if you're that spouse that is on the like, ooh, really? Why are we doing this? This seems ridiculous. But you're standing in your backyard partying and with your beer, or you're watching TV and watching the shows over and over and over, or you're doing this and that. You know, maybe you need to reflect.
Yeah, maybe you need, as a man or the person who is trying to
Protect the family.
To protect the family, maybe you need to
say, hey.
To say, hey, I'm cutting this shit out. I am going to cut this shit out so that we can purchase this,
Yes.
so that we can.
So you can either be on board or you can be angry, but this is what I'm going to do. And if the person gets angry, you can't control them. They can get angry. If they leave, guess what? They leave, and there's nothing you can do about that.
More food for you.
More food for you. But I mean, emotionally, whenever someone leaves, it is not so cut and dry unless you are just in a toxic relationship. When someone walks out, but you can't control that person, so you can't risk your safety, the safety of your dog, the safety of your children, the safety of what you do have for some materialistic attached spouse, male or female, it doesn't matter. You can't risk it. So in a marital situation or a relational situation, that should have already been on the table. So if you're looking for the perfect person or you're new to dating, get that shit on the table now. Put it out there. If you are in a relationship or you're married, you should be having these conversations.
You need to be having these conversations right now.
Right now.
What the you know, in wrapping it up, the goal for me and Nikki, and this may be a little bit of an inspiration to those who are actually struggling with it. I'm not the selfish person that she perceives.
No, I mean, but he's self.
But
this is my guacamole.
Yeah,
and
it's
chips.
my guacamole and chips.
I'm not
Where's
sharing.
yours?
You cannot have any.
You should have
You should have gotten your own.
That was mine.
And he was serious.
Anyway, the point of the nail I'm trying to drive in right now is there's a reward at the other side
Absolutely.
of preparing. We're not preparing blindly without a goal. We know, I've done the research, she's done her research. We understand what's going on this planet right now. We 100% understand what's going on this planet, and we understand there's going to be a time of hardship.
Right.
And there's nothing you can do to
Highly
avoid that.
probable.
Whoever you are, and you think you can escape it unless you're one of the billionaires instigating it, or one of the politicians,
you ain't escaping shit.
taking it up the ass from the billionaires, then you're going to be affected by this in some way, shape, or form. So on the other side of this is going to be the new normal. We haven't even hit the new normal yet. We're just into the fuckery of the new world. It's the roller coaster going up, and then we're just gonna drop. Yeah, that's all you can hear right now. But on the other side of this,
your appeal is denied.
For those who prepared, for those who were awake and aware, for those who understood what was coming, and who understood that there was going to be a storm to withstand, you're going to come out on the other side of this okay.
Yeah, you'll be okay.
As long as you can convince whoever is holding you back, or even if you're holding yourself back, going, you know, it doesn't make any sense. My whole message is, we're trying to get you to the other side, because there is going to be another side of this.
Yeah.
Whoever,
all things are temporary.
Yeah, it's going to be a storm that needs to be withstood, but at the end of this,
hurricane.
Yes, at the end of this, somebody's going to survive.
Yeah.
And then those who survive through it are going to be able to thrive. And it just takes a mindset, and I feel for those people. I know I can come off as kind of harsh and standoffish, and this is final, but I really do give a shit about whether or not you can get your spouse or your partner on board with what you're trying to do, because it's important. I mean,
it is.
You know, and if, I know she said don't lie, but if you have to, because you know, like I know what is coming, and it's your way of protecting your family, you may have to be a little bit deceitful and go and buy extra packs of this and extra packs of that, and convert some of your extra money that you would have spent on a Starbucks coffee or
yeah, look at the
a
hobbies.
12-pack of beer.
Look at what you or your spouse is spending money on anyway, and you're just converting that. You know, look at where you waste money. I did want to say before he stopped, before we stopped the video, if you're not feeling preppy, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's starting to get dark.
If you're not feeling preppy, yeah, I gotta hurry. Then what you need to do is find something like within, if you're in the healthcare field, do the what do you call it? The first aid kit.
Yeah, learn
something.
Learn
and
a skill.
Put that together, and be in charge of that, or do the gardening, seeds, and all the things you need for that. Take over that part of it. I promise you, you'll feel
because when shit does hit the fan and things are going south, and you did prepare despite your spouse wanting to participating it,
they're gonna
thank you.
Yeah.
They are definitely gonna thank you, and to me,
and it shouldn't
that's
be an
more
I
important.
told you so. It's okay. See, we're here
like,
now together.
You get 2 cookies, I get 6 because I prepared for them. But anyway, like, subscribe. I know it's a sensitive topic.
It is very sensitive.
And there's no right answer. It's just like shit, clobber them in the head and do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I've seen people go like, I'd fucking find a new wife. I'd divorce that bitch right away. It's like, whoa.
Yeah,
okay.
but there are those harsh people out there.
Yeah.
But like, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Ring the notification bell if you want to get updates. And until the next video.
Take care.
Bye.